Good evening, everyone. Severe Other Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Chudd joining you for this edition of Nate at 8. And coming up, well, we're going to be tracking some more cloud cover for tomorrow. Not as much rain as what we're dealing with for this evening, and not that we're dealing with a lot into the overnight hours, but it's more just a lingering drizzle that we'll see extend as we go into tomorrow, especially in the morning hours. Some drizzle, dreary conditions, chilly. That's the best way to sum up likely what we see for a lot of Wednesday. That being said, by the afternoon, again, the drizzle will likely taper off. Any stray light shower will taper off. From there, we are dry as we go through Thursday. And we'll likely start to see a decrease in cloud cover later into the day tomorrow. It's going to be close timing. I think that we're not dealing with too much sun before it sets, maybe at least spotting a little bit of it, more clearing than present tomorrow night. A little more sunshine Thursday, then back to dreary and wet conditions. A lot of rain coming our way Friday and into Saturday. So that's some of what we're going to be talking about for this edition of Nate at 8. Thank you all so much, as always, for tuning in. Let's jump into things. High temperatures, similar to what we had for yesterday, topping off well in the 40s, even some 50-degree readings right now across the area. This is coming off of course, the overall cold December. We had that warm stretch right at the end of the month, but a lot of December being cold back to, of course, the cold start to the beginning of this month. And now we're seeing temperatures moderate here as we extend into this week. We're dealing with some above normal temperatures throughout this week. It's been up and down really in the pattern over the past couple of weeks. And that just looks to continue this week into next. But I know we haven't really recapped December, going into the new year here yet. So I thought I'd touch on this because it is some interesting statistics here. So our average temperature ended up being 31.4 degrees throughout December. That's below normal by 3 degrees. This is actually went down as the coldest December since 2017. Yes, even despite as warm as it was leading into Christmas Day, we still ended up with the coldest December in almost 10 years for us here into the Ohio Valley. Quite a interesting statistic there, just how cold this December ended up being. Also, and something interesting to note, it was the 11th driest December on record, the driest we've had here and not too long. We did have drier conditions back in 2022, but for us, it's 11th driest December on record. Now, despite not dealing with a whole lot of total precipitation relative to what we typically get over the past 30 years, right? 2.62 inches has been the average over the past 30 years. We only saw 1.46 inches. But despite that, we still managed to measure upwards of 19 inches of snow. Why? Well, because of how cold it was. So when we are dealing with colder temperatures, it takes overall less total precipitation to equate to a lot more snow. So we didn't need a whole lot of total precipitation to equate to a lot of snow going throughout the month of December, because a lot of times when we did see that snowfall, temperatures were colder, and that helped equate to then some more snow over a overall lower total precipitation. 19.2 inches of snow measured, well above normal of 8.3. In fact, almost 11 inches above the normal of 8.3 inches of snow for the month of December. So cold, snowy December. And of course, as we look here into the very beginning of January, we certainly saw that going into the new year. But since then, temperatures have been climbing up here for this week, and we're not going to deal with likely any snow into the weekend. Just more rain is coming our way. And talking about that rain, again, still some light rain present across the area right now. And again, as we do extend overnight, we'll likely see a lot of this light rain tapering off as Futurecast is showing. But what it's not going to show is that drizzle that we can see linger for tomorrow. So drizzle, a stray light shower, that's what to watch for, especially tomorrow morning. So it's still damp, it's chilly. Those low temperatures, upper 30s, low 40s, that range across our area. So chilly, damp, dreary Wednesday morning is the best way to describe it. And it's cooler with respect to what we had for today. Highs topping off around the mid 40s. Again, keep in mind today we saw highs near that 50-degree mark. It'll be a handful of degrees cooler tomorrow afternoon. And you could say it's a little more chilly as we go throughout Wednesday. And yes, the cloud cover is in place for a lot of the stretch here as we go throughout tomorrow. It's likely the very tail end of the day that we'll start to see more clearing in our skies. And I think ultimately the bulk of clearing is going to be more so after the sun sets for Wednesday night. It is short lived. Clouds are going to spill back into the area for Thursday. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies likely as the day progresses. That increase in cloud cover Thursday out ahead of the following round of rain, which is set to arrive into your Friday. So by Friday morning, we're going to be spotting some more rain moving into our area. And this time around, it's going to be occasional as we do extend into the weekend. That Friday as well as Saturday, likely we're going to be dealing with some rain coming our way. And during this time, we're dealing also with the potential there for some heavier rain. Not just dealing with the potential for lighter rain like we're dealing with tonight. We could deal with some heavier rain, rumbles of thunder at times, with some thunderstorms in the mix, and temperatures 50s to even possibly 60s by Friday afternoon. So 50s, 60s for a lot of that stretch Friday into Saturday with that rain. And again, it looks occasional as we do extend going through Friday, Saturday. It just makes for a couple pretty soggy days, likely more of a washout as we do extend into that time period. As we extend into Friday and Saturday. By Sunday, then we'll see a transition likely of rain to snow. So that's with temperatures starting to drop off as we extend into as we do extend into Sunday. Temperatures are going to start to drop off, and then we're going to be dealing with a transition from rain to snow as temperatures will take a plummet back into the 30s for a high temperature future cast. Again, you see that lightning icon showing the possibility of some thunderstorms in the mix for Friday and Saturday. So there's a look at the rain outlook. Again, just some lingering drizzle for tomorrow morning. Outside of that, we're drying up tomorrow afternoon, dry Thursday, Friday, Saturday, more of our washout days, rain occasional. Again, some thunderstorms can be in the mix at times. And then that's with a cold front passage. So temperatures are going to be dropping off on Sunday. And we get a transition from rain to snow with some snow showers around for the second half of this coming weekend. And temperatures are going to be in the 30s for the second half of the weekend and not going to be budging too much from the morning low to the afternoon high. And likely within about a handful of degrees is the extent of the difference there for the morning and the afternoon. And of course, anytime we're going to be watching as temperatures are dropping in the wake of rain to that freezing mark, we can see some slick spots develop into Sunday morning with some snow showers in the mix. It doesn't look like much in terms of accumulation, but still watch for really some slick spots possible Sunday as well as into Monday morning. And then by Monday, lots of sunshine. So no issue there with road conditions as we get into Monday afternoon. Sunshine, highs above freezing, no issue at all. Staying dry likely Monday, Tuesday, but then the following round of precipitation arrives into Wednesday, and temperatures look warm enough at that point, still climbing close to 40 degrees, that a precipitation type could be more of some rain and snow by the middle of next week. So again, to sum it up for your 9+1 day forecast, some drizzle. It's dreary, it's damp, and it's chilly Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning. And overall dreary for a lot of the day tomorrow. Sun doesn't start to break out to really towards the time it sets. So we could may spot a little bit of sunshine late tomorrow, but it's more clearing tomorrow night. Increase in cloud cover then throughout Thursday. More of a washout Friday and Saturday. The rain is occasional. We can have some dry periods from Friday, Saturday. Not to say it's going to be a steady rain set up to sundown, but it's just look occasional for both Friday and Saturday. Just more of a washout for both of those days. It looks wet, but it does look mild, right? It's not real chilly with that rain. Temperatures are still well in the 50s likely during that stretch, and at the coolest in the 40s. So it's still for this time of the year, it's not real chilly with that rain for Friday and Saturday. By Sunday, then, is when temperatures are going to drop off, and we'll see a strong cold front passage really drop those temperatures. Anytime we're dealing with that, we'll have to watch. We can certainly deal with some gusty winds with that on Saturday as those temperatures are dropping off into Sunday. Some snow showers around on Sunday. Again, accumulations at this point, it does not look like much as we go throughout Sunday. But we'll still watch. I could see maybe something at least more minor when it comes to impacts and accumulation, but not anticipating anything major the second half of the weekend. But something we'll watch for. Again, I would at least be prepared for at least some slick spots going into Sunday, and then no issue by the time Monday rolls around, especially by Monday afternoon. Lots of sunshine, highs closer to 40 Monday, Tuesday, and then still near 40 Wednesday, but that's when we'll see a return of some rain, snow, a lot of cloud cover then, highs mid lower 30s for the latter part of next week. And as you can see, up and down, right? So up this week and back to more seasonable to below normal temperatures for next week. So not that next week looks really cold, but certainly more seasonable, below normal, and ultimately colder next week with respect to what we're dealing with for this week. Joe, good evening. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Thank you as always for tuning in. Kyle says, "Is this El Nino the cause of the warm weather pattern we are having for January?" And no, we're actually dealing with that weak La Nina, transitioning to more of a what we say La Nana, or neutral conditions. And then yes, hints there that we'll eventually we're trending towards an El Nino. The trends there are going towards El Nino conditions, but yeah, here at the beginning of the winter, we're dealing with that weak La Nina to more neutral to eventually potentially they're transitioning towards an El Nino. Um, this is just that pattern we've been in. It's just back and forth that we're dealing with. The flip flop pattern. We get to these patterns sometimes where it is almost on a weekly basis, where it's from mild to warm. Excuse me, from mild to cold. It's a flip flop between the both that we are extending here over the next couple of weeks. Austin, good evening. Today felt a bit wet and muggy, especially with the air today. I can't believe that one week feels crazy warm. Then the next week we're back to cold winter weather. It's been the flip flop pattern the past couple of weeks and just continuing here over the next couple of weeks. Renee, warm weather is great this week. Loving that warm weather. Renee is liking it. And yeah, we'll at least have it here as we go into the weekend. But by Sunday, again, we'll deal with some more of those blustery conditions by Sunday as those temperatures are dropping back in the 30s. And we'll likely have a breeze in place. So wind chills will be feeling closer to the 20s, likely for the second half of this weekend. So back to some colder values for next week. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Again, not too bad of weather coming our way in the next couple of days. It'll be nice to at least spot a little more sunshine, I think, on Thursday. We'll see if we can get lucky enough to spot it right on the tail end of the day tomorrow. Hopefully, it's going to be a close call, but it won't likely be until towards the end of the day tomorrow that we can start to spot a little more sunshine. Still dreary, chilly, just kind of damp tomorrow morning. Less than ideal, I know. Dreary days make for some long winter months for us here in the Ohio Valley. There's no doubt about it. But at least we got a chance for a little bit of sunshine, especially for your Thursday, maybe in the tail end of for tomorrow. I will soak up any sun we can get because it's back to dreary, wet weather than Friday, Saturday, and then even into Sunday. Not as wet as Friday, Saturday by Sunday, but of course, at that point, it's cold with the dreary conditions. And yes, even at least some snow showers in the mix. Get nothing major, but some snow showers in the mix for the second half of this weekend. Carol, thank you. Thank you. Carol, thank you for tuning in. All of you, appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful night. Catch me coming up News 9 at 10 on Fox 9, News 9 tonight 11 for the latest. And as always, for the next edition of Nate at 8 coming up tomorrow evening for the next edition of Nate at 8. Until then, have a wonderful night. I'll see all of you on the next edition of Nate at 8.